consider a sample of radioactive isotopes having very large number of radioactive nuclei. Say there are n number of nuclei present in the sample. So each of the nuclei has a probability of decaying, but we know that at a time only dn numbers will decay in a particular time, say dt, and this dn will be proportional to the number. We know this result. So that simply implies that the probability of decay of a particular nuclei is not the same for all the nuclei, correct? So using Monte Carlo method, we can simulate the radioactive decay by assigning random probabilities for every nucleus. So the first step is this: we will assign random probabilities. Obviously the probability will be between in between 0 and 1. 0 means will not decay and 1 means will decay for sure. Okay, assign random probabilities for all the for all n nuclei. Okay, so this is the first step, and we assume that a particular nuclei with a whose probability is greater than a particular value will only decay in that instant. That means we assume that at a particular interval, we assume that if the probability is greater than say 0.9, that will decay. Alternatively, you may say that if the probability, if you consider this as probability of decay, or some persons consider the probability as probability of staying in the species. So in that case, you can assign if p is less than some 0.1, say, that all such nuclei will decay, right? So we will consider that p is the probability of decay. There is another possibility. You can consider the probability of stability or not decaying. So I am assigning probability of decay. So if probability is greater than say 0.9, then we assume that those nuclei will decay. If p is greater than 0.9, and this 0.9 is arbitrary, you can use 0.8 as 0.8 also. Some radioactive nuclei are highly unstable. That means their activity is more or half-life is less. In that case, you can assign a lesser probability, right? Okay. So if probability is greater than greater than 0.9, we say that those nuclei will decay. So that means if p is greater than 0.9, we just remove those nuclei, and therefore after this interval of time, the number of nuclei remaining will be equal to the total number of nuclei present minus number of particles, number of nuclei whose probability is greater than 0.9. Understood? So your new number will be like this, and you can store this number in a particular. You can append this n value to some list, say number list. You can call the list as number of nuclei. Okay, you can save that in that particular array. Sorry, particular list. Okay, that's it. So you do this repeatedly. That means you start by assigning number of some probabilities, then find how many of them has greater probability, greater than say 0.9, then decrease that number and change your number of nuclei present in the sample as n and append that into some list. Okay, you repeat these steps. Okay, again you assign random probabilities for all n remaining nuclei, then count how many of them has greater probability or probabilities greater than 0.9, then decrease that number from the total number, then you append. So you repeatedly do these things. So you will have the number of samples as a list, then you just plot the result, plot n. This will just generate a plot, and we expect it starts at n, it continuously decreases, and we expect an exponentially decaying graph. So we'll see that in the Python code. So the algorithm is really simple: assign random probabilities and probabilities of decay. Alternatively, you may assign random probabilities for not decay, for staying in the nucleus. Then in that case, your probability, if the probability is less than something, then that will not be there. Okay, something like that. Okay, so it's up to you. So I have seen both the methodologies are used by different programmers. The first two lines of the code is obvious, and this is to initialize everything. See, this must be large. Okay, and this list is to hold the number after every intervals. So in a particular interval of time, we just assign a random probability between 0 and 1, and this probability is nothing but probability of decay. So we set some threshold probability for decay. So if the probability is greater than 0.9, we assume that particular nuclei will decay, and therefore the number of nuclei will decrease by 1. Okay, so this is obvious. So why this step? If probability of decay is greater than 0.9, that nuclei will decay. Therefore, the number of nuclei present in the sample will decrease by 1. So this way we check the probability for everyone, and we check the condition, and we decrease the number if this condition is met. And once this particular loop, once this loop is over, your number will contain only the remaining nuclei, and we will append that to num. Okay, so when this loop is over, when the outer loop is over, that means there are only less than 100 nuclei present in the sample. Okay, therefore we can stop the simulation. Correct? So this contains all the numbers, how the number decreases in a very regular intervals. So each and every iteration represent one interval of time. So in the first interval, so namely in the 0th interval of time, there are, say, a particular number n0. So after one interval of time is over, there will be n1. After 2, there will be n2, so on and so forth. Then we'll just plot the result. So this is just to visualize the plot. I shall be sharing the code, so you can decorate your graph by adding title, by adding x labels, y labels, etc. Okay, now let us see the simulation. So for that I am going to run the code. Okay, you can see the result. See, you can see the number exponentially decreases and decreases. Now it takes almost 65 such intervals to decay to less than 100 number. So we shall see the same thing by decreasing this probability, say some 0.8. You can see that it decreases all of a sudden. So before it took nearly 65. Now when we increased the probability, means when we set the threshold value less, more nuclei decays in a particular period of time, and you can see that the decay occurs in a shorter period of time. So roughly some 32 iterations. That means roughly during 32 intervals of time it decays. Okay, thus we have simulated the radioactivity, and we have plotted the radioactive decay, number of samples, number of nuclei present in the sample versus time. Okay. I request you to try with large numbers, as well as you try with a different threshold probability. I also request you to try with the probability of remaining in the sample, that means probability for not decaying. Okay, it's up to you, both you can try. Thank you.